Good morning, my bows and bow ties. So, yeah, I want to talk about this new sport that's going on here in America. Um, yeah, I mean, apparently, you know, attacking people who look like me is the new sport. I shouldn't say a new sport, but it's evolving. Instead of, attacking economically and socially and stuff like that, now it's just a full-on assault. Now, there are going to be people who are not going to want to hear these things that I talk about. And I'm going to try to keep it short and not too deep, right? Because I've got children around. But I don't necessarily shield my children from things, but I don't necessarily have to give them all the gory details. But yes, it's a new sport. So let me just say, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Black opinionated woman, also known as a Bo. My kids. So I want to welcome you to the channel. Um, yeah, it's just I didn't want to report or talk about it at first because I get tired of seeing this type of thing happening on television. And for those of you who don't know what I'm referencing, let me throw that up there real quick. How do I do that? That's the face of Peyton Gendron. Gendron? He is the Buffalo Mass Pow Pow guy. Okay? He's the one that thought it was okay to go into a grocery store and harm innocent citizens or people. So this is not uncommon now. Like, this is becoming a normal thing, in my opinion. Right? We know all the stories, the George Floyd's and the George Floyd's. George Floyd was murdered on television. We know there's the George Zimmerman who attacked and terminated um, the life of a young black male, Trayvon Martin, and it goes on and on and on. You have Freddie Gray from out of Baltimore. You've got so many people. Um, yeah. So anyway, let's put this alleged. Let me put my little thing up here because apparently I need to put things up. It's still alleged, which you know how I feel about calling it alleged, calling thing a thing. I mean, he did it, but I don't know what the rules are, so I'm just putting my ticker up. But I think you can surmise what I think about this situation. So yes, this is the one who's alleged to have gone in there and use the pow pow to take out people. Try not to be too loud, okay? Because I'm on live, okay? So let me just say this. I guess I should bring myself back up here. Let me take that off. I'm just a little exhausted. You know, on the one hand, I create videos and I tell people who look like me to stop their whining and and stop playing to learned helplessness and all this stuff. I need you to not do all this right this second, okay? So I tell people to stop doing all these things, and yet when you see stuff like this happening on TV, it's kind of like people are tired. But I want to speak for Black women for a second because it feels like an all-out assault. You've got people who look like you who are not interested in protecting you, or um, they think so poorly about you because they have their own demons. There's things that they need to deal with. Okay, we know those are very sick individuals, and then you have the rest of this nation, and it's not just white people. You've got Asians in the stores who are taking out Black people. You've got the mass pow pow type people going into grocery stores and churches, and you've got the government putting in large scale um, systems and infrastructures that are harmful. Okay, so it's really challenging and it's exhausting. And like I said, and I think it was yesterday's live, Black women are literally checking out. We're tired of fighting everything for everyone. So, for those of you who just joined in, this was the thumbnail you selected. So, as you can see, it literally has attack on the city of Buffalo, New York. So, for those of you who have any sort of knowledge of anything, I'm referencing the the Buffalo attacker on Black people like this past week. You know what's interesting about this, which I know people are like, you're running with this, but that's just because I want to. This is my channel. I find it interesting that Black women in the community, for anything that happens to Black people, get blamed for a lot of things. If a Black man goes to jail, it's the Black woman's fault. She didn't raise him right. If Black men aren't living up to their potential and they're not doing well in school, or they're not making a lot of money, that's Black women's fault, right? Not the fact that they didn't have a father figure. Now it's the Black woman's fault that they have leveled up. That's the Black woman's fault too, which technically it is because nobody's leveled up, right? But I find it interesting that when it comes to people who don't look like us, and you see these mass pow pow type people, um, you never hear anything about the white woman, about how she didn't raise her child right, or the white man. They never talk about how there was poor parenting. You notice that? Or is it just me? So in my community, yes, they'll say, "Hey, it's the Black woman's fault." But in the white community, they'll never blame the white woman for this. Look at this individual. This is a sick individual, and there's a lot of them walking around like this. This is now. I get it. The media doesn't like to put bad images out there of themselves. But the fact of the matter is, this is what I think of when I think of these types of events. This is the image I think of. As soon as they say there's been some sort of event like that has happened, this is what I think of, or, and I hate to say it, or someone with a really large beard. And it's wrong for me to think that, but this is what I'm being bombarded with. You see how easy it is to it's easy to cultivate a culture of fear of a certain type of people, right? Based off of the images that are put in the media. But that's exactly what the media has done. When I think of these types of events that happen, I think of this man, Peyton Gendron, out of Buffalo, or he went to Buffalo. He had a full-on manifesto. I didn't even want to read that. I don't know if it's posted. I don't want to know what's in it. I don't have to put that in my spirit. That's what I think of. Just like when they put all these images up there about Black people. But getting back to the image of that young man, they never say, "Oh, it's the white woman's fault because she didn't raise her children right." They don't blame her. Now, I'm not saying that that should be the case, but I will say in America that we have failed our youth. Everybody is mad about something. Everyone. Hold on, I gotta parent for a second here. Sorry, I returned. So I think that with everyone being mad, it's just that it manifests itself differently. We tend to get a lot of these mass pow pow events. Okay, we get a lot of those kinds of events, and I don't see it changing because now this is going to sound really messed up. I don't. I don't know. I don't have an answer, but I feel like in America we're so in love with our perceived freedoms. And no, I'm not trying to advocate being like someone else, but I'm like, what we're doing isn't working. Like the Constitution says we have the right to bear arms, but like it doesn't say go get a nuclear weapon or AR-15. This is what we're doing. But more so, like I said, this new sport in America. This is like a new sport. It's starting to feel like the Hunger Games. Let me see if I can bring up my thumbnail from yesterday. Let me see. Let me see. I am going to bring it up large here. And let me see if I can change it in real time. If you give me a moment here, because I'm just sitting here like, hold on. Where am I? Let me go to let me go to the previous one. Like it's just coming to the point where I'm like, it's becoming like the Hunger Games. It is the Hunger Games. I'm trying to go to whoops, sorry. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to get my life together. I just feel like let me copy this link here. Nope, that's not it. I was trying to I did this in Canva, guys. So if I'm trying to why can't I get this download copy that link? Okay. Make it bigger. All right, can you guys see this? There we go. So this was the thumbnail from yesterday, right? I did one yesterday about living in a modern day dystopia. This is what it feels like. It feels like at this point now, I'm living in the Hunger Games, and it's like every single one of us, when we walk outside, it's like we're being nominated for tribute. That's what it feels like. Um, Let me just say, it goes back to not feeling protected. Well, I'll tell you what, Black women feel completely unprotected in America, in our own community. So not only is it like sport now to go after Black people, it's like we're not even protected within. I don't know. It's like a modern day dystopian novel. Maybe I should write a book. I don't even know what the solution is at this point. But what I do know is it's not working. But getting back to my point, because I'm feeling rather petty and shady today, I'm just curious. White women will not be accused of not raising their children right. You see this photo here of Peyton Gendron? Yes, he's going to be able to. Oh, I thought it was interesting. He walked out of that situation. They put handcuffs on him. He wasn't tackled to the ground, as far as I can understand. He walked out. He had the nerve to be allowed to have some dignity. I'm going to be honest, this is exhausting. It is exhausting. I don't expect for people to want to watch this video because I'm not talking about celebrity gossip or celebrity news or whatever. I don't feel like it. It's not salacious enough. But I will say, this feels like the Hunger Games. It feels like the flat out Hunger Games. And that every single one of us are being nominated for tribute. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, male or female. And the beauty of the situation is white women know they're not going to be blamed for raising this. This is somebody's child, but this is also a monster. This is a monster. And I'm seeing a lot more of these monsters. All right. Well, look, let me get on up out of here. I know that this wasn't a pleasant conversation. Um, it's okay. It's all right. It is what it is. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Look, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. That's pretty much it.